What is up, everybody? Back with another top 10 here today. And with this one, I'm going to be giving y'all my 10 favorite hard rock bands of all time. Super tough to do. I'm a huge fan of hard rock, and sometimes it is tough to, differentiate between hard rock and metal, glam metal, all this stuff. So, some of these bands I'm going to include might, cross over into other subgenres like metal and glam metal at times. But overall, I have always considered these bands hard rock for the most part. So, I'm going to jump straight into it here with my number 10. Got to include them. Damn Yankees for me. I'm a huge Ted Nugent fan. Love Michael Cardellone's drumming on here on these two albums. And of course, freaking Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades are, I've said in the past, the best dual harmonizing vocals. Their voices just sound so good together. I've got the two albums on CD and both of them on cassette tape. But yeah, this 1990 debut album is absolutely fantastic. I did get it signed by Jack Blades a few years ago when I saw Night Ranger. But top to bottom, this is just one of my favorite hard rock albums of all time. Do really like Don't Tread as well. This one isn't as well received as the debut. It's not quite as good, but it's still good. But the debut, so many classic songs on here. Coming of Age, of course, Come Again, and High Enough, the big hits from the album. But I like even Tell Me How You Want. It's a really good song. Pile Drive to End It is super heavy and fast. Bad Reputation's great. But I really love this. Ted's guitar playing, top notch as usual. Whole band on fire, so got to make my list. Damn Yankees, number 10. Number 9, I'm going to jump up to Canada with my favorite Canadian hard rock band, and that is Triumph. Got Rock and Roll Machine right here. Love that shot. Looks freaking awesome. Those guys on stage. Mike Levine on bass, the man Rick Emmett on guitar and vocals, and Gilmore on drums and vocals. I think both of them are really good singers, but personally I prefer Rick. I think he's one of the best singers ever in rock and one of the best guitar players, so just super talented musician. I've actually got several of their vinyl to show. Just a Game right here from 1979. Awesome stuff. Of course, has Lay It on the Line, maybe their biggest hit. Amazing song. Allied Forces, another great one. And also Never Surrender from 83. A lot of killer stuff with them. One more thing here, the Surveillance cassette tape, which this came out in 87, and at this point they were kind of going more towards glam metal. I still do think it's a great album, a lot of cool stuff on there. But just really, really fantastic band that I dig a lot, so they're at number 9 for me. Number 8, I'm going to go with Great White. So here's one that some people might consider them to be glam metal, but, originally they started off with their self-titled album as, I would say, just heavy metal. That's a great album. And then, as time went on into the mid to late 80s, I think they kind of shifted their sound to more of just a straightforward bluesy hard rock. Especially, these two albums are great. If you listen to, Rock Me, that's just super bluesy. Got Hooked, another great one from 1991. Freaking Jack Russell, his voice is so awesome. One of my favorites, super cool. And Mark Kendall, I think, has just some of the best tone. Just great riffs, great solos. Again, his tone is top notch. So, Great White, one of my favorite hard rock bands ever. So they're here at number 8. Number 7, I'm going to jump over to Ireland with Thin Lizzy. Got their Jailbreak album right here. I've got Johnny the Fox up on the wall, which is probably my favorite album by them. It's between several, but Johnny the Fox is just amazing. Their lineup, their freaking rhythm section is so tight with Brian Downey and Phil Lynott, who great bass player, one of the coolest frontmen in rock, great cool voice. Scott Gorham and Brian Robertson, awesome duo. Had Gary Moore come along, who's a great player. Freaking John Sykes on the Thunder and Lightning album is a freaking shred machine. John, one of the best in rock and metal. Got one of the best live albums, Live and Dangerous from 1978. These songs are freaking amazing. Massacre, fantastic. Suicide, some of my favorite songs by them. Also have the Chinatown album, which that's a cool cover and really good album. Came out in 1980, and as I said, Thunder and Lightning, another favorite. Number 6 we're at now, so I'm going to go with Led Zeppelin. Got their debut. Awesome stuff, of course. One of the best and most influential rock bands of all time. John Bonham, amazing freaking drummer. Robert Plant on vocals. One of my favorite singers. Jimmy Page, great guitar player. John Paul Jones on bass is great as well. Just looking at this debut album, so many awesome songs. Good Times, Bad Times to open it up. Dazed and Confused, love how it's all slow, and then it picks up there with that awesome Jimmy Page guitar solo. Communication Breakdown, How Many More Times. But my favorite Led Zeppelin album, I gotta go with Led Zeppelin 4, probably Physical Graffiti second, but a lot of great stuff with them. Pretty much every album is good. Just a great classic band. Up to number 5, I'm going to go with Kiss. So, Led Zeppelin and Kiss are falsely labeled as overrated, and people, like, say they're not good a lot of times. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, Kiss and Led Zeppelin are both great. Kiss, awesome classic band, very influential. Got their Hotter Than Hell album right here, which is really, really good. Looking at these songs, Strange Ways, gotta be one of my favorites, and Parasite. Those songs are just really heavy and awesome, super dark. Got Love Gun, which I Stole Your Love, and the title track from here, probably maybe my 2 favorite Kiss songs from the 70s. I do love their 70s stuff, but honestly, I like their 80s stuff a lot as well. Lick It Up, Asylum, and you could say they were more on the metal side at that point. I mean, whatever. Great guitar playing on all the albums for the most part, whether it's Ace Frehley, Bruce Kulick, Vinnie Vincent, all those guys are awesome. Paul Stanley, I did list in my top 10 hard rock singers, so I really think he has a great voice, nice melodic, smooth voice. Also, I've got Dress to Kill cassette tape. So on to number 4, which for some reason I couldn't find. I have Flick of the Switch on vinyl, and the only 2 freaking albums I could find are Fly on the Wall and Ball Breaker by AC/DC. I know I've got more, of course, everybody knows AC/DC, a lot of great classic albums. I'd probably say Let There Be Rock and Back in Black are my favorites. Whole Lotta Rosie, just amazing song. The title track on Let There Be Rock. Hell's Bells, I think I have said is my favorite AC/DC song. Just super cool, love the build-up. The bells going, just adds to the atmosphere. I think it's super cool. Powerage is great. I think Kicked in the Teeth is one of their best, most underrated songs, the last song on Powerage. But, of course, Bon Scott and Brian Johnson, I think, are both awesome. This is a debate who you like better. They're both cool. Malcolm and Angus, great tone, great riffs, great solos. So, AC/DC, good, classic, gritty hard rock. Got to make the list. And the next band up could be a little bit of a surprise to some people if you haven't seen my channel in the past, but I have mentioned before how much I love this band, especially the singer. Gotta go with Kingdom Come, and I'm a huge Lenny Wolf fan. I just think his, voice is super cool and unique, very powerful. Love his vocal melodies. The choruses are always awesome. Love his delivery, and, while there is some comparisons to Led Zeppelin, I think it's mainly just due to, like, the Get It On song from this album. Sounds kind of like Kashmir, the main riff. But I think it's unfair to label them as just a Led Zeppelin ripoff band that sucks. Some people say I think that's stupid. They got a lot of albums, big body of work, more than 10 studio albums. A lot of them are really good. I would say this debut from '88 is their best. Just great classic hard rock, really bluesy. The guitar work's fantastic. As I said, Lenny is he's my favorite hard rock singer. I ranked him as that a while back. So, love this album. I've also got In Your Face right here from '89, their second album, which is great. Do You Like It? It's just a freaking awesome song. Bad Image from '93, another favorite. Hands of Time from '91 is awesome. Twilight Cruiser, especially love that title track. Super awesome. Love the atmosphere on it. But even some of their more recent stuff like Independent is really good. Just great band. Easily one of my favorites of all time. Kingdom Come at number 3. Now, number 2 and number 1, it's my easy number 1 and 2, but it's kind of tough sometimes for me to decide what I want to put where here. But when I look back at the overall body of work, I think I gotta put Van Halen at number 2, mainly because I don't listen to a ton of Van Hagar, or obviously I'm not listening to the Gary Cherone album like ever, Van Halen 3. I do like For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, but other than that, I'm not a huge fan of most of the Sammy material. Some other songs here and there are okay, but For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, easily my favorite. Judgment Day, definitely my favorite song from the Sammy era. But as far as the first 6 albums go, this debut, one of the best of all time. Eddie Van Halen's tone is just so good. So many awesome songs on here. Ain't Talking About Love, just that riff is incredible. On Fire is amazing. I'm the One, I've said, is probably my favorite Van Halen song. Whole band on freaking Fired. David Lee Roth, one of the best frontmen of all time. Alex Van Halen, really, really great, somewhat overlooked drummer due to being kind of in the shadow of Eddie Van Halen at times. Of course, Eddie's the guy everybody has on the pedestal, which is for good reason. I've said he's either the greatest or second greatest hard rock guitar player ever. I think he's got the best tone. Michael Anthony, of course, great backing vocals and great bass player. And Van Halen 2, another great album. It's tough for me between Van Halen 1 and 2, which one I like better. Usually I say Van Halen 1, but this one is creeping up there, could overtake it. Light Up the Sky, it's just super heavy and fast and amazing riff, DOA, a lot of awesome stuff on there. Fair Warning, another great album, 1981. Mean Street to open it up, another one of their best. Just that like tapping intro from Eddie Van Halen, then it transitions into that riff is absolutely sick. Also got Women and Children First. I got all the first 6 albums, Diver Down. 84, which I think is really good. Hot for Teacher was always one of my favorite songs. And the number 1 band shouldn't be much of a surprise. Band, it's the solo band of Ted Nugent. Got him on the shirt here. Got his debut album from 1975. Stranglehold, I've said many times in the past, to me is the greatest rock song of all time. Just says everything you want. The opening riff, absolutely incredible. One of the best, maybe the best riff ever. The bass work from, what the frick is his name? Cliff Davies on drums is amazing. Rob Grange on the bass. He did co-write the song, and Rob did come over from the Amboy Dukes, which was Ted Nugent's band before this. I think he's a great player. When you turn it up and you listen to that bass in the background of the song, it just adds to the layer of the song. Just makes it super cool. As I said, Cliff on the drums is great. One of the best underrated rock drummers ever. And the man, Derek St. Holmes, on vocals. Really nice, smooth melodic voice and rhythm guitarist. But the riff, the solo is super awesome as well. Everything about it is just amazing. And whole album's great. Stormtroopin', Just What the Doctor Ordered, Motor City Madhouse, a lot of great ones there. Got Free For All, another awesome album. And this one he brought over Meatloaf to do lead vocals on. Like 5 or 6 songs. Derek was still there, did vocals on a couple. I think he did vocals on Dog Eat Dog. Ted Nugent, of course, he did the vocals on Free For All. And I think Writing on the Wall has got to be probably in my top 5 Ted Nugent songs ever. Just amazing. That one is sung by Meatloaf, and he does a great job on it. Cat Scratch Fever, another great album. Double Live Gonzo, my favorite hard rock live album. Love the raw energy and just aggression and attitude on here. That's the thing. I think Ted was like the whole package as a rock star. When you look at it, he had the showmanship. Any videos you see of him from back in the day, he's going crazy. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see that live. Running around the stage, swinging out on the vine. I've heard a lot of people tell me that Ted Nugent in the late 70s, early 80s, loudest concert they've ever seen. Just their eardrums were ringing for days after. Songwriting, you know, a lot of great songs. He had commercial success. He was headlining freaking arenas and a lot of those stadium tours like Texas Jam, the stadium shows, co-headlining with Aerosmith. The tone, the riffs, the solos, everything was there with him. State of Shock, another great classic album. And I've also got Scream Dream. I've got more. Even like some of his 80s stuff I thought was good. I like pretty much every Ted Nugent album up through, I'd say, Love Grenade in 2007. All good to me. Love his playing. He is my number 1 hard rock band. It's weird calling a solo artist a hard rock band, but you know what I mean. Ted Nugent solo band is my number 1 for hard rock. And some honorable mentions, because it was very tough to leave a lot of these off. Looking at some of these vinyl down here. I'll go through them. We got Blackfoot. Love Ricky Medlock. He is currently in Lynyrd Skynyrd as well. But Blackfoot, I've always thought, was probably my favorite Southern hard rock band. Foghat. Love Lonesome Dave Peverett on the vocals. Love Rob Price's guitar playing. That nice slide guitar. Super bluesy. Super cool. A lot of great stuff with them. Pat Travers Band. Another one of my favorite guitar players from the 70s, early 80s. Dude from Canada. Got Tommy Aldridge was on the drums at this point. He also had Nico McBrain on a couple of albums there early on with him. So really great player. Raw, aggressive, gritty hard rock. Y&T, another great one. Dave Meniketti, great singer, great underrated guitar player. Montrose, of course, his first album is great. Ronnie Montrose, awesome player. Sammy Hagar, of course, on that as well. Aerosmith, Rocks. The Rocks album, they do rock as well. Good band. Here's another album by them. Love Kings and Queens on here. Aerosmith, cool band. definitely an honorable mention for me. Gotta mention Moxie, really cool stuff, good Canadian band. Heart, and this is in no order, however, I had them sitting there. Badlands, Blue Murder, I got their first album on cassette tape sitting around here somewhere. Some Whitesnake, another great one. That, of course, you could label some of their stuff as being like glam metal. I've said in the past, like this 87 album is just incredible. I would say it's glam metal. Again, it's tough to differentiate this shit, but Rush, I will give an honorable mention. I'm not the biggest Rush fan ever, but it's kind of like a misconception that I somehow hate them. I prefer their first 2 albums before they got super progressive. Like Fly By Night, I had my top 10 albums in 1975. Wow, I hate them so much. But yeah, I think that's all the albums I got. Let's see if I miss any. UFO, I thought I had one of their albums sitting here, but UFO is another band that's like right on the edge, hard rock and metal, tough to differentiate. And Tesla, another one. I've said they're metal in the past. Are they hard rock, metal? Right on the line there. Do like them a lot. Night Ranger, I mentioned earlier. Bow Wow, a band from Japan that I think is really cool. Again, some of their stuff's more on the metal side, some's hard rock, but Koichi Yamamoto, guitarist for Bow Wow, just one of the best ever. The dude's a freaking shred machine. But that does wrap it up for me. That's my top 10 hard rock bands of all time. Just my favorites, obviously. I want to know your favorites in the comments. Let me know what you thought. And until next time, thank you for watching.